Hello people, it's a response to a response. Somebody decided to make a response to me 10 days ago, and it's how he thinks I'm trying to be like Teal Day. Yes, this is a new video response about me, clearly not knowing that me and Teal Day don't get along. We clearly are diametrically opposed in numerous ways, from style to ideology even. And apart from being British, that's about all we have in regards to similarities. Maybe there's a university education there too, I don't know. But that's about it. We're British and we're male. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, he thinks I'm trying to be like someone that I don't like. Now, the video that he's responding to it was probably around the time that I did like him, but again, when I started doing YouTube, I didn't watch him. I was not aware of him. And so, even back then, I was not influenced. I just liked him because I thought he was entertaining and sort of, very informative as well. But now he's just neither of those things. But look, that's besides the point. He's done the video response to me, so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say, because I've heard little bits and pieces about it in his comment section, and let's just say it's golden. So let's do this.
There are a lot of bees out here, and the only color bees can see is red. I have a problem.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Open my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
So, we're not even 30 seconds into this video yet, and already you've used an overused internet meme from a movie that nobody actually likes unironically.
Mate, you do know that I was using it in an ironic way, the way that people like the film. With irony. I don't know if you're a Canadian or American, but I'm going to assume you're American for sake of argument. Irony, again, proving that it's not one of your nation's strong points, is it? That's exactly why I used that clip, and also it was relevant, because she was talking about bees. Not the bees. I don't care if it's overused. I don't care if it's a meme that's old. To me, it's funny, and that's subjective, but I don't see why you're trying to criticise my humour when that was like a off-topic bit in the video, and I just thought, okay, that would be funny. I don't know why. You could have just skipped that, like you skipped other bits, because you made a 27-minute response to a 23-minute video, so, yeah.
Because this reads to me like a book, that we're not even a minute in, and already you've given up.
I've got Asperger's, and that was one of the most Asperger's responses to me I've ever seen. Seriously. But how have I given up? Or have you given up? Is that what you're trying to say? By making a joke. A silly joke in an off-topic part of her video. I'm just making a joke. God, get over yourself. It's not the end of the world. The argument comes in immediately after my intro, my old intro that I don't use anymore. But hey, you wouldn't know that because you don't watch my videos, clearly.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry for any noise in the background. My neighbors are doing construction and it's annoying the crap out of me, but I can't really do anything about it, so yay. I am here to talk to you about feminism.
Oh goody, I love it when an attractive lady talks to me about politics. I find it very stimulating.
Ah, great. Another angry, cisgendered, straight, white man.
I'm mixed race, mate. And even then, what has my race got to do with this? It's irrelevant to the debate. It's only relevant to you because you are a racist. To yourself, funnily enough. But then again, you could be mixed race. I don't know. But why are you bringing that up? Why are you bringing up my sexual orientation and I don't know what you would call cis, but, why are you bringing all those up? They're irrelevant. And I'm not angry. I'm clearly not angry there. You sounded almost like a Poe when you said that, but you're being absolutely genuine. Again, you could have just skipped that bit because it's not relevant to the argument. It was just me poking fun at her expense. But hey, whatever, poking fun, being a little bit silly, that means I'm an angry white man, even though I'm not angry and I'm not white. But Whatever, mate.
condescendingly explaining to us why feminism is the devil's anus.
I've not even got into the argument in the video yet, and he's already telling me to condescendingly explain. Actually, I was being sarcastic, but never mind. I'm not usually like that in real life. You can ask people like MRA Wallflower, Dr. Anna McCam, and all those other people who met me a couple weeks ago. If I'm like that in real life, I'm not actually. It's just something that I do in certain videos because it's effective. I don't know why. I realised that it was really good at getting my point across, and it worked as a comedic thing. But apart from that, I'm not like that in person. I don't like condescending people. I just like being sarcastic in videos. So, yeah, you've got the whole thing wrong there.
This is going to be a painful video, isn't it?
Speak for yourself, mate.
How long is this video anyway?
I have shorter videos, you know. You could have picked any one of them. Especially, you know, actually at the time you made that video, there was quite a few shorter ones you could have picked. In fact, I have a 6-minute one about disagreement, but you wouldn't find anything to really respond to there. So you picked this random one from ages ago. But even then, the length has nothing to do with it. I'm a long-winded person, yes I am, but your video is 27 minutes long.
Hang on one moment, I'll be right back.
Disclaimer, this video serves as a criticism and as such is under the protection of fair use.
I don't know if this is a parody of anti-SJWs having to continuously tell people that, you know, on your side especially, that we use fair use and therefore we reserve the right to criticise you. Or if you're genuinely telling me not to flag you, as if I'm a flagger. I don't flag people for criticising me. As you've probably not seen, I have responded to people who responded to me, and as far as I know, they've never been flagged. And I would never tell my fans to go and flag you either. Don't flag him, okay? Just don't, alright? It's horrible. Please stop flagging each other. Let's just make videos about how people are horrible, okay? Like what we're doing now. I don't know, I think you're being genuine here, but I'm not the person who needs to be lectured on fair use. It's your side that needs to be lectured because you lot just can't stop flagging us and laying on us DMCAs that are illegitimate. But you know what? Go on. Now, before he can criticise me for taking him out of context, I'm not here. I cut out a bit where he describes how he has to do it behind the camera because I ramble, as if that's something that the audience needs to know. And now he's about to do some shout-outs and says something very stupid.
The first is to Micro's Island for pointing out how out of touch with reality Charming Man 93 really is.
An SJW telling me that I'm out of touch with reality. And it wasn't even him who said it, it was somebody else. Yeah, I'm out of touch with reality. Okay. Go on.
The second is for Microwave Me Show for helping write the script. And my final shout out is to my friend Sammy, who has been very supportive of my video responses. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually respond to him.
Let's start today's video off with today, the Supreme Court ruled gay marriage legal in all 50 states. Now, this is just a gigantic leap in the best direction. I mean, go America today. We did great.
Yeah, good, whatever. I mean, you legalised gay marriage, who cares? This must be a very old video. But anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. That's something to do with the topic at hand. Please, stay on topic, girl, alright?
So then, why are you responding to this old video then?
Because I didn't know it was old. I downloaded it. We did like a, if I remember correctly, I searched a load of videos for material and that came up and I didn't look at the date. It was only afterwards when I was sat down recording the response that I realised, oh, this might be a couple of months old. And so I incorporated it into the joke. It's not rocket science. And why are you responding to that? Again, this isn't actually a part of the argument that I have. This is just the bit where she rambles and I just riff on it because I needed to, I don't know. I found it easy to joke about. What, you could skip this bit. I would have skipped this bit if I were you.
Anti-feminists often respond to old videos for some unknown reason.
I respond to new videos quite a lot, and I didn't know that video was old at the time because I didn't look at the description bar. I assumed it was old, and when I looked at it afterwards, yes, it was old, because I like to link the videos so that people can watch it. And when I finally linked it, when I was uploading the video, yes, it turned out to be a couple of months older than my response, only a little bit. It was still pretty relevant, but then again, I think the age of a video doesn't really matter, considering that the topics that she brings up are things that feminists always bring up. So, yeah, I don't think you can label that criticism on me, because it's not even a criticism. And what's even more ironic is you are responding to an old video that I did. So please don't go around saying that anti-feminists go responding to old videos when you are responding to an old video of mine. Like, very old. Like, I don't even use that avatar anymore. Like, seriously, that is an old video of mine.
And act as if they were posted just last week.
You see, we respond to the arguments, and the arguments are continuously being heard and used up to this day. The things that that young woman said are still being said today. Her video might only be, I think it was like a year old, wasn't it, at the time? I can't remember. But the things that she said were still relevant to today because that's what they still say. So yeah, it doesn't matter how old it is, if it's still relevant to today, I can still criticise it. And look, I didn't know how old it was at the time until I look back. And I can still respond to anything I want. Just like you've responded to a video that must be about 6 months, maybe 5 or 4, I don't know. I'm sure I'll have a look in a minute.
And actually, LGBT rights is a part of intersectional feminism.
Yeah, I know. But her video wasn't necessarily about that. It was about some nebulous term that she has. I know what intersectional feminism is, and I know that they like to appropriate other civil rights causes into their own, because, you know, it's a very authoritarian form of feminism and it's a means of control. She's not an intersectional feminist, she's just this more kind of idealised type one, this kind of a younger one. I can't really explain what she is. She's just a feminist, really. That's all I know. She didn't make a lot of videos, so I couldn't really gauge what she was, but it was just a nebulous term for her. And again, she was off topic because it wasn't about that.
You know, the boogeyman of the men's rights movement.
Wait, what boogeyman of men's rights movement? There is no boogeyman. Intersectional feminism is not the boogeyman of the men's rights movement. I'm not even a member of the, and I talked to a lot of them, and they've never ever said anything like that. I don't know where you got that from, but then again, you lot don't talk to us, okay? So you make it up in your heads. I guess that's what you've done.
Waving rainbow flag. And I know we still have a long way to go, but I think that it's just a perfect time to celebrate that we did take a big step.
Yay, the human race progressed, but now feminism must regress us in this other direction. I still think you need to get back on topic, girl. Do even on topic.
I actually recommend taking your own advice to heart, my friend.
Again, it's part of the riffing off of her off-topicness. That was a joke. But even then, I was right, because America progressed in one direction, while you lot were regressing them in another direction very, very hard.
Just a minute ago, you were commenting on the background music in the video.
Yeah, I was joking and making silly comments because I wanted to. And
Also, that music, is there a ukulele in there or is it just synthesizers? Either way, it's annoying.
that says virtually nothing, mate. You just put that in there. What does that mean? That I was off topic? No, I wasn't. Again, I was riffing off of her video to make jokes. It's not rocket science. It's quite obvious what I'm trying to do here. And by the way, technically wasn't off topic as it was about her video. So, yeah. Remember, that was a bit where she kind of just introduces herself and stuff. Again, what? How is that hypocritical? You don't know how to compare. And apparently it gets worse, because I've been rooting through the little comment sections, and your No True Scotsman thing is apparently really bad, so let's see.
Now, today's video is a rudimentary guide to feminism, and there are many stereotypes to the word feminist or feminism.
Oh yeah, stereotypes, but they're grounded in something called truth.
Stereotypes are more accurately grounded in a perception of truth.
Don't try to get meta with me, mate. It's not a perception of truth, it is the truth. It's not the whole truth, but it is a part of the truth. God, I think I might be getting meta now too.
Which may or may not have varying degrees of accuracy.
Like I said, it's based on some truth, so there will be people like that, but that doesn't mean that everyone is like that. That's kind of what I was getting at anyway, but
Stereotypes can evolve over time, though. Up until 2001, the Middle East was stereotyped as being a mystical fairy tale land.
I would like a citation on that, because both of us were around in the year 2001, although I was 8 years old, admittedly, but I do not remember people stereotyping the Middle East as a mythical fairy tale land. No, especially when during the decades before that they'd had numerous revolutions. They had the Iran-Iraq war. They've had loads of things that were going on in the 20th century. And as far as I know, I don't think because of those events and some other things that happened long ago that they would consider it a mythical fairy tale land. If anything, it would have been considered a mythical fairy tale land, maybe, I don't know, I can't verify this, in a time long before 2001, say maybe the 19th century or the 18th century. Maybe they would have had something like that back then when Orientalism was a thing. They would have thought kind of like that, but in 2001? Really? No, I know what you're saying because of 9/11, but that stereotype wasn't a thing in 2001. That's a very fixed point where a stereotype just ends. That stereotype didn't exist back then.
But after 2001, the stereotype shifted to terrorism and extremism.
Look at the area. Look at it. Even before 2001, it has always been a hotbed of extremism, war, strife, name your pick. It is one of the most volatile areas in world history. It always has been for a very long time, for millennia. I don't think by 2001 it was considered a mythical fairy tale land, considering all these things were happening. It has always been like that. Maybe more people began to think that way, but it's not really a stereotype. When that region has always had a reputation for instability, war, intolerance, all these different things. Remember, all these different peoples who live there and have different religions and different political goals. It's a very strategic place as well with its resources and its holy places. That's not really a stereotype, that is the truth. The Middle East has always been like that. Yes, at some point in the Middle Ages and the Roman era, it didn't have that. It would have had a mythical reputation because it was a centre of learning at one point in two different empires. But sadly, that's not what it's been for the last couple hundred years. So, yeah, it's not a stereotype, that is the truth. It's a daily living nightmare for the people living there.
While some elements of both exist, it's ignorant to assume that the Middle East is full of nothing but harems and terrorists.
You see, this doesn't work as an analogy, because the Middle East is like that. And there's very few areas in the Middle East that don't conform to that. And even then, they are affected by the likes of ISIS, by Turkey, by all those revolutionaries in the Arab Spring. They're all affected because it's actually not a very big geographical area. It just isn't. So they're all affected. It's almost like a domino effect. So that doesn't work. As for feminism, well, all your different sects or whatever you want to call them, little cells and ideologies, they are literally like those stereotypes because that's where the stereotypes come from, those particular ones. And you can't really compare it to an area. You just can't. This is an ideology, not a geographical area.
And I think we should go through those first, just to rule them out. I've heard man-hater, angry, lesbian, ugly, non-shaver, non-maternal, bra burners, humorless, feminazi.
Just to point out before I interject once more, feminazi is actually a type of feminist, not a stereotype.
It can be both, actually.
No, it's not both, it's one, and it is a type of feminist. A feminazi is a type of feminist, usually the more authoritarian types.
Feminazi is a word coined by Rush Limbaugh to describe what he perceived as radical feminists.
Yeah, I know it was coined by that guy. And?
I personally avoid the word and prefer radfem or straw feminist.
I also use the term radfem, but feminazi is also a very good word because it usually annoys people like you. And what is a straw fem? Do you mean a straw man? You do realise that the people that are described as feminazis actually exist and are actual feminists? But we'll get into that in a minute, I assume.
Because Rush Limbaugh would most likely even consider you to be a feminazi.
I hate to sound more like Tilde to you, but citation needed. How would you know that he would think I'm a feminazi? Why? Why would he say that? Just out of interest. You don't know that. You can't prove that. You're just basically strawmanning him, which is weird. Why would you need to strawman Rush Limbaugh? Why? Because as you said, he coined that term to describe because as you said, he coined that term to basically describe radfems. So he knows what a radfem is. I'm not a radfem. So he would not consider me that. By your logic, by what you just said.
Abortion activists? Now, not all of them are negative.
All those so-called stereotypes are all true traits of feminism. There are the man-haters, the people who don't shave, the abortion campaigners, or whatever you call them. Even though it's okay to be pro-choice, there are many non-feminists who are pro-choice, such as myself. That's not really a stereotype. Again, that's really maybe a type of feminist. I don't know. I'm sure there are some who are pro-life, though not many. Sadly, a lot of them are true. In fact, they're all true. It just depends on who you're talking to and what type of feminism they espouse. But of course, you're going to teach us how to be a true feminist, not the Scotsman.
The problem I have with the no true Scotsman fallacy always being brought up.
Because it stops you from disassociating yourself with these people who are obviously of the same ideology as you are. They just disagree on how to go about it. Am I right? Because it's just, too problematic. That's why you don't like it. You want to say that these people aren't feminists because of it doesn't suit your agenda. Am I right? Am I right? Like, Christina Hoff Sommers, she's not a feminist because she's right-wing, even though she obviously isn't. She's a Democrat. Oh, Valerie Solanas isn't one because she wants to kill men, even though she was. And both of these people claimed in Valerie's case, because she's dead now, to be feminists. So, yeah, you don't have the monopoly on what is and what is not.
Is that it ignores the fact that a group can decide what qualifications and criteria for membership is.
The problem is, your ideology doesn't have that. And it never has had that. You don't have the leadership or the Pope of feminism that can tell people what is and what is not a feminist. You don't. This is why you're so fractured and have different people who believe in different things. That's why the no true Scotsman always applies when you lot try to say what this person is and this person isn't a feminist, even though these people say that they are. This is why people use it.
Someone could claim to be a Christian and believe that Santa Claus is the second coming of Christ, and that the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny are other members of the Holy Trinity. But are they actually Christians?
But that doesn't work. That's not a no true Scotsman, because it quite obviously isn't Christianity, because Jesus is nowhere in there. The Holy Trinity is not the Holy Ghost and the Father, which is God, and all the other mumbo-jumbo that they believe. You've just put a load of silly characters in there and then claimed it and said it's Christianity, it's a Christian sect, even though it can't be Christian because Jesus isn't there, because God isn't there. What? That doesn't work. That's a terrible analogy.
They may fulfill the basic membership required, belief in God and Jesus.
I'm stopping you there. You never said they did believe in God and Jesus. You said that they believed that Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny were part of the Holy Trinity. You didn't say they believed in God or Jesus, and now they believe in God and Jesus. Did you notice that you made a mistake there? That actually doesn't sound anything like Christianity. It's not even based in Christianity, so you just added that in there. I'm just wondering, because you didn't say that.
But to claim them as representatives of Christianity would be a falsehood.
They're not Christians. You never even said that they believed in God and Jesus until after the analogy was already made. This doesn't count. This is a rubbish analogy. It doesn't disprove the no true Scotsman fallacy, because feminism does not actually work like that. You don't have a group that can decide what is and what is not, because you're all fractured. You all have different ideologies within an ideology. Like I said before, you're not like Christianity. Even though they have different sects, they still have leaders within those sects that can determine what is and what is not. A Protestant or a Catholic or a Presbyterian or a Baptist. They have people who can decide upon that. You don't. The whole analogy falls apart. The no true Scotsman still stands, because that's not how your ideology works. You don't have someone who can say definitively what is and what is not a feminist, because from the very beginning, it had different ideas.
Also, let's bring up the fact that anti-feminists will often point to quotes from radical feminists as proof that feminism is bad.
I can even bring you quotes from moderate feminists to show you that it's bad as well. But hey, whatever. Go on, straw man us.
It would be akin to claiming that Scotland is an evil country and all Scots are murderers because some Scotsmen have done something heinous.
No, that's not how it works. You moderates will claim it's for equality, and you will say these reasons, and then we will show you people in your own movement who aren't for it, and you will brush them aside as if they don't exist and say that they're not true feminists. They may not speak for you, but they certainly run your ideology. They are certainly the ones in the highest positions of power influencing the legislature of our countries. Yet you will still deny them. You will still say that they aren't true feminists, and then you will also do nothing about them. And you will also say things like, oh yeah, we totally are for men's rights, while not actually showing you doing anything for men's rights. And when we ask you for evidence. So you're like moderate Muslims and Christians, that you will say that these people aren't like that, blah, 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 but you'll do nothing to stop them. That's our argument. But hey, go ahead, straw man us.
Just like the murderers do not represent Scotland as a nation, the kill-all-men feminists do not represent feminism as a whole either.
We never claim that they do. They're just the ones that are ruling the roost. That's what we're saying. And we're criticising you for not doing a damn thing about them. Here you are actually not criticising them, but instead criticising me for pointing out their shit. So, you know, you're trying to say that I think that they're feminism. Well, I know they're not. I've always said how I like Camille Paley and how I like Christina Hoff Sommers and loads of other people. But, you know, you want to ignore that stuff and just say that I say these things when I don't. So, yeah, don't start talking about logical fallacies with me, pal.
Yes, many feminists are lesbians, many feminists are pro-choice, many feminists don't find it necessary to shave as much as some people may like, but I mean, that's all personal preference, and it's all...
I hate to be harsh on this lovely girl, but I have to be. But you just said that lesbianism is a preference, like a choice preference, not like a sexual preference that is natural to that person. Just thought I'd point that out. Ooh, you just dug the first few feet of that hole that you're gonna bury yourself in. Ah, rest in peace, young feminist. You were savable.
So, she misspoke, and you saw that as a crack in the veneer to exploit while ignoring the intent of her message.
I told a joke about a silly thing that she said. Get over yourself, mate. It's not exploiting anything. She said something stupid. I poked fun at it. That really should be the end of the matter. There's nothing there to really analyse, but you're going to analyse it anyway, aren't you?
Maybe a quick correction would have been fine.
I did correct her through the medium of humour, but you don't have a sense of humour, or maybe a different one, but you're an SCW, so you don't have one. So you see that as some kind of personal attack on her. It wasn't a personal attack on her. It was poking fun at something that she said. Yes, she said it by accident, but I still joked about it. Because she still dug a hole. You can dig yourself a hole by saying something by accident through faux pas. I've done it so many times in my life. It's just something that people do. How is that wrong?
But that part, you were savable, implies that despite claims of feminism being a cult, it's anti-feminism that's actually the cult.
See, I told you people he was going to overanalyze a stupid joke. Look, I never claimed in that video that it's a cult. Actually, although I do personally think you portray cult-like behaviours, anti-feminists don't, because we're all different stripes in terms of political leanings and opinions, that it's simply too wide for us to have similar traits. We fight amongst each other a lot. Not as much as you guys, but we do. Oh, but nothing to do with that, but more to do with, you know, liberals versus conservatives, libertarians versus everybody, you know, stuff like that. We're not the cult, and I never meant it in a cult-like way. Judging by my tone of voice, I am obviously joking about her but not falling down the trap that she was about to lead herself down to. And besides, people can be saved from cults, and I actually thought maybe she'd be not too far gone into your cult, that she would probably, you know, not fall down it, but sadly she did. And that's what the joke was poking fun at. But you overanalyzed it and decided to do some kind of reverse thing with me, and it's like, no, I never even mentioned cults. And I didn't even use a cult-like way in the way I said savable. But hey, whatever.
We just don't like what they talk about. We don't like what they espouse. Now, obviously, it depends if they're equity feminists or intersectional, third wave, second wave, whatever. It doesn't matter. It all depends on what they're saying. And if we don't like what they're saying, well, we beat them down. And that's not because of what they look like or what they find attractive. It's all their ideas at the end of the day. I think the distinction needs to be made. And if people do that, they're cunts.
So, why aren't you going after the actual bad feminists?
I do, and you would know that if you actually look down through my video list. I go after loads of rad femmes and people who say horrible misandrist things and misogynist things even. I recently got into a Twitter battle with TERFs defending my transgender friends. But yeah, you wouldn't know about that, would you? You wouldn't know about that. Also, I criticise my own side as well. People, or at least people who you would consider to be on my side, but I don't really consider them to be on my side. Like, I criticised Hunter Avallone recently, and yes, I even criticised Tilde, who you think I wish I was. So yeah, I do go after them. I do. But you're trying to make out that I'm not based on this video alone. Even though a cursory glance would show that I do.
I do agree with you that bad feminists exist, and that they're destructive and harmful to the movement.
I'm not saying they're destructive to your movement, I'm saying they're destructive to society. Although, that could also mean they're destructive to your ideology, and yes, I do agree, but you're not doing anything about them. At least I am.
But this girl is clearly not one of them.
Yes, even though she's a moderate, I can still criticise her, because I disagree with what she has to say, because she's basically spreading misinformation, misguided misinformation that she doesn't really understand. I can still criticise her. Why? Why can't I? You can't tell me to do anything.
I know it's easier to find small vloggers calmly expressing their ideas, but attacking people you should see as allies is actually counterproductive.
What do you mean I should see this person as an ally? Like I said, I criticise my allies anyway. Again, I can criticise whoever I want, and the moderates don't consider me an ally. They don't want to talk to me. I am blocked by moderates through the use of block bots. Do you remember Gamergate? All you moderates weren't on our side. You were on their side. You were on the anti-GG side. And even you don't come across as much of a moderate. You try to. But at the beginning of the video, you were racist towards me. And you were cisphobic against me, and you were heterophobic against me. Those are things that radfems do. Using somebody's arbitrary traits against them. I don't trust you. And that's for her. Look, there's nothing wrong with a bit of criticism and light-hearted fun. I can do what I want. I was actually hoping that she'd see it and maybe change her mind and we could have had a chat or something. I would like to chat to these people, but they don't want to talk to me, so how can I view them as allies? Look, Camille Paglia, Christina Hoff Summers, Micaiah B, there are loads of other people who do talk to us, like Shayra. She will talk to us. I have talked to Shayra. These people are fine because they're trustworthy and they offer the olive branch. People like you, no, you don't. Alright people, I think I'll end it there for now. This is part 1 of part 2. I've decided that since time is pressing, I really should end this particular part and then finish the rest of it tomorrow. So it's going to be the first 2-parter in quite a while. So until next time, if you like this video, give it a like. If you like my channel, subscribe to it. And if you love it even more than you like it, donate to that Patreon. All links are down below. And I'll see you all till next time.